Happy Thursday and welcome back to the You Good podcast, the podcast where oversharing is encouraged and the thoughts get real. I'm your host, C-Rod, and this week is the perfect way to kick off the new year. We're starting light, having some fun, telling a few wild stories. I have one of my fraternity brothers, Gabe Baum, on as our guest. We're going to slowly move into something very real, conversations about life, responsibility, and connection. Welcome to episode 29, Growing Up with the Animal, featuring Gabe Baum. Let's get into it. Happy New Year, Nick. Welcome to the first episode of the year. How are you?
What up, dude? I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Absolutely fucking miserable. Thank you for asking.
What's going on?
Well, I'm still not over the Ravens' loss against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I've been spiraling into sports hell lately because of just all the videos that are coming out. My number one draft pick failed me in fantasy and failed me in reality.
Yeah, that's tough.
But the guest that we're going to bring on, let's hold this sports conversation because I want his point of view. But the guest that is coming on today is somebody I've known for years. You know, we always stayed lightly connected, but I was able to see him again face to face over the holiday break. He goes by the name The Animal, and I can't wait to talk about that name and the stories that come with it. But please welcome to the You Good podcast, Gabe Baum. Gabe, appreciate you having me, buddy.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Welcome.
So, Gabe, we were just talking about the Ravens and my Ravens. You know how passionate I am about them. Fill Nick in with who your team of choice is.
I have a special team. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan since I was 6 years old. And you know how that goes. Every year is a Super Bowl feeling, and then it just all disappears as soon as it gets cold.
Oh. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
that's unfortunate. I'm a Colts fan, so I mean our season went up in smoke when our quarterback broke. So it was going badly before then, but him getting broken kind of ruined it.
That was a big injury. It's funny though because the Cowboys, right? They haven't been good for years, and Gabe kind of feels what I feel, to where every year they're in the Super Bowl, conversations. What are the Cowboys going to do this year? What are the Ravens going to do this year? Now, the Cowboys, granted, have been less successful than the Ravens, but there's always that expectation, and I don't think the Colts kind of have that expectation anymore, especially without Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck gone, and people have reached out to me and be like, "Oh, at least you're not a Jets fan, at least you're not a Falcons fan." But to me, the epitome of like the Jets is they haven't been good in decades, right? So like as a Jets fan, you don't really have any expectations going into the year. You just hope that you don't suck, and then you end up sucking. You're like, yeah. Same thing with the Falcons. The Falcons had one of the biggest moments of destruction in history, but it was just a moment. Realistically, the Falcons haven't really been good since the late '90s, minus a few years with Matt Ryan, and it's really gotten to me over the last decade, just going back and thinking about, well, what happened last year? What happened last year? What happened the year before that? And it's like, man, I don't know what needs to change. I think Harbaugh needs to go. I think the window for Lamar Jackson might be closed with us.
I'll take him.
He needs, he probably needs a change of scenery. I'm not saying he's not a good football player anymore, but when you have a decade of heartache, it's really hard to be optimistic. What say you guys?
For me, personally, I think we don't have that expectation, right? We haven't had that expectation in years. I don't know. Would you rather be good and have that expectation, or no, you're not gonna do anything? Like I'd much rather be good and just have that heartbreak because, yeah, hey, at least you're there. we don't have shit to go for most of the time. It's like, oh, we're 3-15 or 3-14. Great. Awesome. Here comes the number 1 pick. Oh, we got Anthony Richardson. Sweet. Like,
Well, Gabe, how do you feel as a Cowboys fan then? Because I see what you're saying,
No.
Nick. You know, every year the Cowboys have an expectation, though. How do you get through that?
No, I love that feeling. Just like 5 weeks ago when they were saying, "Yo, this is the most explosive offense." Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, the running back up there, Dak, and then
Williams, right?
Ferguson, all these guys, and it's like their defense is a problem, but you don't want to play this team in the playoffs. Well, Cowboys made it easy because we didn't get to the playoffs. But that was very exciting. I had Pickens and Dak on my fantasy team, and that made things really exciting this year. I got in second place until the playoffs. But yep. So I much would rather be a Cowboys fan than a Dolphins fan or like Bucks or Kevin Hayes and Spitz and all those guys.
Panthers fans.
Yeah. Obviously, like the Giants and all these teams that, like, at the end of the year, they're like, "Oh, hopefully we don't win, so we get the pick." Like, I've never said that as a Cowboys fan. I've never
Yeah.
even thought about the first pick in my whole life as a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
We've never been bottom 10 team. So
It's and you're right, Nick. Especially as an Orlando Magic fan, like I know what it's like just to be shitty every year with a hope or an expectation to be okay for a few years. And you're right. I would rather be that team that is a Super Bowl or a finals contender talk of the town every year than be the lowly Orlando Magic where maybe they might get a good season every decade or so.
This year's our year.
It's too close to home. I guess it's the wounds are still fresh and just social media, everybody with all the videos and everything is just dragging it in. But new year, new us, right? We're not going to sit here and talk
It's
about
basketball season, bud. Football season's over.
Exactly.
Football season's over.
We could talk sports all day, but what I want to do is introduce Gabe the Animal Baum. And the way I see this episode going is we're going to get into Kappa Sig. We're going to get into something that he's been building personally within his own business, and kind of at the end of the episode, I wanted to get into a conversation that matters for him. What?
Harbaugh's out.
Like right this second?
Right this second.
Oh, I can't cut that out. Okay, good. Well,
Dude, you're a sayer, dude. You willed it. You wanted it, and you got it.
Okay, interesting. I don't hate it, but back to the episode.
that was funny.
Moving
Gabe,
on.
Like I said, we've reconnected over the last few weeks, even though we've stayed in touch on social media. I've learned some new things, about you in that time, and one of them is just the way that you stay in touch with everybody. And Nick and I have covered this multiple times over some of these episodes. Just being that strong friend, or being that present friend, or being the one who keeps that connection. And I think at the end of the day, it probably goes beyond brotherhood. I'm sure that you have friends outside of Kappa Sig that you keep that connection with, but I want to start with the thing that we have most in common, and that is Kappa Sig. And you are, I believe, 2 years older than me.
Yeah, I was.
Did you graduate 09?
I think I was Beta Alpha. Yep, Beta Alpha was my pledge pass, but I'm 09. I graduated high school in 05.
Do either of you remember the whole Greek alphabet?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Kappa, Sigma, Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, Epsilon, Zeta, Eta, Theta, Iota, Kappa, Lambda, Mu, Xi, Omicron, Pi, Rho, Sigma, Tau, Epsilon, Phi, Chi, Psi, Omega.
Boom.
Interesting. I probably couldn't do that.
And yeah.
How about the Star and Crescent?
It obviously wasn't burned into your brain hard enough.
Absolutely could not do the Star and Crescent. Nope. Gabe, talking to 2 years older. When we had Gore on, he was your pledge class,
Mhm.
and we went through the same thing. Walk me through why Kappa Sig, what that was like for you as a freshman going into UCF. If you knew anybody, if you didn't, I talked a little bit about how I went to UCF by myself and didn't really know too many people, and that was
Mhm.
just where I found normalization, socialization, and it grew from there. And we'll get into that. But why Kappa Sig? What pulled you in, and what are your memories on some of those few years before I came to town?
So I was actually a sophomore. Uh, Danny and I rushed Lambda Chi freshman year, and we were pledges. And there was some issues there, and I got balled from Lambda Chi. There was some kid that his brother was ready fraternity guy, and he thought he was way too cool, and I just let him know that he wasn't that cool, and then that was my exit. And then they told Danny, "Don't worry, like we don't need
Like
him." And he's like,
with force or just words? Like, was it that
"Uh,
like did you fight
it
him,
was a-
or
it was
basically you
after a
tell him he's a piece
flag.
of
It
shit?
was after a flag football game." And I used to play football in high school, so I was going to break down the huddle after the win, and this kid backhanded me and told me to stop. He's like, "No, you're not the quarterback." And then yeah, and I threw him to the ground, and then we got broken up in this
There it
whole thing.
is.
So
There it is.
yeah,
Man,
he was a coward. So, so
okay. So
anyway,
Lambda Chi.
that was my first experience rushing Lambda Chi. They didn't even have a frat house. They would just get together at the bars and chase chicks and play football and sports but they literally didn't even have that strong of a connection from what I've seen. And then once I joined Kappa Sig sophomore year, fall rush, it was like, wow, this is a fraternity. Um, the connection and just having the house is so much greater than fraternities without houses or sororities without houses, because you have a place to like just connect and hang out, not just drinking, sports, and meet you at the you know I don't know, Pegasus Circle or something, like, or meet you on campus. Just go to the house and let's figure out what we're gonna do from there you know
Sure. Yeah. Was
yeah
so you knew Danny before UCF?
I've known Danny since I was 6 years old.
Oh, I never knew.
Yeah,
I never knew that.
I have about three friends since I
Mike's
was
shaking
six
his
years
head.
old, and I'm still best friends with all of them. And then I have a couple of friends from like high school that I'm still really close to. And yeah, I'm kind of like
Interesting.
the center of my little framework of friends.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of cool.
So you and Danny know each other since you were 6. You went to UCF together,
Mhm.
and who sparked the idea of let's join a fraternity? And was it simply to party and to meet chicks, or was there
So
anything else
I
behind it?
I had a girlfriend at the time going into college. We were long distance, and then we went to college together. And then her best friend had a friend, and that was TJ Woodruff. TJ,
Oh,
my big brother.
yeah.
And so TJ was in Kappa Sig. So I was kind of friendly with him. And then once the Lambda Chi thing went down, he was like, "Yo, you should check out Kappa Sig." And I was like, "What?" All right.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's actually how he's like, "Yo, come check it out." So yeah.
Going I only know one Gabe Baum. Well, I know two now
Yeah.
post college, but it's the animal.
Yeah.
When I rushed, we were in the same family, and I was always around Gore and Nizam and yourself and Teleskin and all those guys, right?
Yeah.
Tell me where the animal nickname really came from.
think the I think the animal came. I think it was a combination of I was always down to just go out. I was always down to go play sports. I definitely um was a physical specimen in college, in the frat house. Like I wasn't a definitely was not taking shit from anybody unless it was Silva, who could just tap us
Yeah.
out in about 6 seconds. Um and remember we had that Royal Rumble in the backyard. Basically, it was like the only way you could get eliminated is tap out. I think I tapped you out. But anyway, Silva won the whole thing, obviously. But
I don't
that was
remember.
fun.
Was I a part of this?
Yeah, you were part of it. You, RJ, Danny, Silva, and some other guys.
Oh my gosh!
But
I don't remember
also,
that.
I'm not the most cleanly guy in the sense of like, you just throw stuff in the closet. And I had a closet that I think there must have been some wrestling matches in, and the whole closet was bent like a water slide. And the door, I would just close the door and just slam it shut, and it would bend, and it was just filled with clothes.
I
You
do
remember this?
remember. I do remember that. I remember what your bathroom looked like because I remember you lived with Fruckman and Doro, right?
No,
For a summer.
I lived with Danny first. Then Danny was like, "Yo, this is too animal," and Silva moved in. And then,
Okay.
but during the summer, Fruckman lived with me, and then, but also Doro and Sinfei were next door, and then, yeah.
Okay, so that's what it was. Doro and Sinfei were next door, and that was the summer that was Eric's room that you were in, but that wasn't your permanent room, right? Or was that your
No, that
permanent
was
room?
my permanent room.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you had that small bathroom connected with Doro, and I always remember
Yes.
walking through like how disgusting that bathroom was, and there was always clothes and the broken shit all over. But where were we? I was at lunch with Fruckman, and I don't know if you remember this story, but he was away for the summer, and I guess he came back, and he said he remembered going to Liquid Cellar, and you were bar backing at the time, and he walked in, and you had been in all of his clothes. He said every piece of clothing that you were wearing was his. Do you remember this?
I do not recall that. Well, it's a strong possibility. He probably was decent, was probably good size, my size. So that is really funny. Yeah, but once I became single, it took a semester or so in the house, but then then the ladies started coming around, so that that kind of also mixed into the animals thing. Um, but yeah, I was a gentleman though. I used to let chicks sleep over after. Like some guys would kick them out. I would let them sleep over. Fuck it. Why do they have to figure it out at 2:30 in the morning, drunk 3 in the morning? Just sleep over, It's fine.
Yeah, that is very
Animal doesn't
gentlemanly of
bite.
you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but imagine waking up the next morning to the animal. Oh.
That's fine. I'll make some coffee and the eggs.
Without, I know that you have a business and a family now. Give me
Yeah.
your craziest story that you want to share. Your craziest, your funniest, or maybe your best moments of Kappa Sig.
Man. I have a sports story which is very memorable for me. Was I was on 18 football, and I was a sports chair, and I used to play wide receiver in high school, JP Terravella in South Florida. And this is once past Lambda Chi, obviously, post Lambda Chi. And we were playing them, and it was like a playoff type of thing. It was before playoffs or whatnot. And we were up by probably like, like one, like a whatever, maybe a point or something. And there was about 4 or 5 minutes left in the game, and we had to ice the game. And I caught I probably caught 4 first downs in a row to kill the clock, and it was amazing. And Danny was there, and we were like, oh,
I don't
like it
want
meant
your
way more than
intramural
anyone will ever know.
sports story. I don't want intramural
Okay,
stories.
fine.
I want
Okay.
a Liquid Cellar, a TDs, a bus downtown. I want you to share a
All right.
crazy story
Okay.
that won't get you in trouble. I know that you have them.
Let me think real quick. Well, I got fired from TD. I've been fired from every job my whole life besides 2 spa jobs, and that's why I work for myself, because no one can fire me. Anyhow, I got fired from TDs, and I went over to Roxy nightclub, and I met the owner, and he said, he said, listen, if you've never worked at a nightclub, but if you want this job, come in Tuesday and bring in 10 people and you could pick your schedule. And then I basically got together with Brojas, and I was like, yeah, let's get a bus. And I just brought like 62 people that next Tuesday into Roxy, and I got the job, and that was amazing. We used to have like crazy party buses coming in there with all the frat guys. But so I used to get on the bus, go to Roxy, get off, and then bartend for the rest of the night. And that was rough though. Let me think of a story really quick.
Give me something better. I'm gonna ask you for one more. You've
okay.
I've
Okay.
built you up as the animal here, and you give me an intramural
All right.
story and a story about how you got a job by bringing a bus full of college kids.
Okay.
Nick's getting bored over here. He's like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Oh my God.
I'm just here.
I'm pressing him because I know his stories, but he also there's a lot that he can't share. But I'm gonna press him.
I'm thinking about a story of Ginger being fully nude in the house and just causing mayhem and like snorting NO2 explode, which is like a pre-workout protein, but I have no idea. Anyway, and he was running down the hall with a mug because someone said something about me, and I opened the door and he's throwing the mug at my face from point blank. And I moved out of the way and I just like gladiator kicked him right in the chest. And then he hit the floor there. There's actually a video on YouTube of my 21st birthday. Now that's like 12 minutes of footage of when I got back to the frat house. Dominic Ditana took this video and
okay. Well, there's also one other YouTube video that we just watched the other night.
Oh yeah. The college years by Josh Furtado.
The Entourage. So Entourage was very big when we were in college, right? That's when the show was on. It was probably in its third, fourth, fifth seasons. And these guys decided to make a Entourage college years video, and they all were the guys as if they were in college. And my God, we pulled it up in the bar the other day, and you couldn't even hear what they were saying, but just like seeing it was so hilarious.
What they looked like.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I just thought of another story that I went out to lunch and I didn't come home from lunch. I got arrested because I had a suspended license. I didn't know. I was with Josh Furtado. We were going to Pita Plus, and he said there's a police officer behind me, and he said license registration. He says your license is suspended. I'll be right back, sir. And Josh said, no, you're going to get arrested. I said, there's no way. It's broad daylight. I'm not getting arrested.
It's broad daylight.
Yeah, it just didn't feel like a right moment to get arrested for suspended license. Like you figure out outside of a bar or something. But I literally got arrested, and Josh didn't know how to drive stick shift. So he had to call Gore to go get my car. But I got arrested, and that was great. And then I called Danny, and he picked me up at like 3 a.m. And when I got back to the frat house, they had about 75 pictures of me all across the house, and it said, "Have you seen this animal?"
Of your mugshot?
Yeah, of my mugshot. Yeah. When we used to go out, this is the real thing. When we used to go out and then we would come back and be like, yo, where's Silva? Where's Chuka? Or where's anybody? If you had no idea where they were, you would just assume they were just like found a chick. But sometimes you in the morning, they're like nowhere to be found. Then you just look up on Orange County database and there's Chuka, DUI. There's Silva. Fucking, I have no idea. Anyway, that used to happen. That was funny.
I agree. I remember those days where if you asked 2 or 3 people if they had seen somebody and it was early in the morning, everybody was like, no, like think about it. You asked 2 or 3 people, but then all of a sudden, if those 2 or 3 people hadn't heard of it, it's start Googling, oh, was anybody out last night? Did anybody see him? And I mean, Gabe's not wrong about how many times, more often than not, some of the people same times over were found on the jail website. Did you guys ever do that, Nick?
No, we didn't necessarily have to. We kind of knew like when someone got arrested. We never were alone. We
Yeah.
always rolled in pairs minimum. So if someone got in trouble, like we knew and we were bailing them
Somebody knew.
out or
Yeah.
um going to the hospital or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Well, no, Gabe, we could talk. We could talk Kappa Sig all day. I could keep trying to force stories out of you, but the chaos, the uh, just the time that like we spent partying together were things that I will never forget. Even just going back out and catching up with you the other week was fantastic. But I know things have changed, right? You're a family man now. You have kids. You have a wife. You have a successful business. Was there any lessons that came from Kappa Sig that you still take today from back then?
Any lessons? Think about that one. Hmm.
Because
I think
because
I really enjoyed the fraternity life because there was just so much more than go to class, go to the gym, go out to the bar and hit on some chicks or try to, bag one. It's like there was so much more to it. It was just fun. It was just fun having a group of guys that, if this guy's busy or that guy's busy, just go to the next one, you know. But to bring it to my life now, yeah, I mean, I think I just feel really I include Danny because we were very close together and we're still really close. That we just feel like we literally probably had like one of the most prototypical like college experiences ever because we had our GDI friends, we had our frat life, we somehow graduated, we played all the sports, we bartended, we bar backed, we had girlfriends and then just whatever, like all
sure,
I mean, then we, did the UCF stuff, Spirit Splash. I mean, we went to the games. One of our fraternity brothers was an MMA fighter, 0-2, professionally. I don't know. We had so much fun. So I mean, when I sit back and I'm just like watching my kids play, and I'm just thinking about, you know, college life, I'm like, oh man, like my wife, she went to like Barry University and
hmm
Miami-Dade College, and like, she went out and had fun and, dated people, but like nothing anywhere on the level of anything
yeah.
I experienced.
I
Um,
so Callie after Callie got to meet probably 10 to 12 fraternity brothers over the holiday break while we were there,
That's
and
awesome.
it is awesome. Gabe being one of them, Danny, DJ Double Click, he'll be on at some point. Being another one, she met Gore, who we had on, my big brother, and it went like this, Nick, to where we would drink and stories would come up, and she'd be hearing all of these things. Well, she didn't go to a university. She went to a community college, and so many times she's like, "Man, I feel like I didn't get the most out of college." So, Gabe, when you say that, like I completely agree. I know
yeah.
that we partied as hard as we could. We, for the most part, graduated college. Mostly everybody stayed out of enough trouble to finish those 4 or 5 years. And you're right. It wasn't just the fraternity that was a part of that experience. There were other pockets outside of Kappa Sig, which was so nice to have, but always come back to. My Kappa Sig life was short lived because the charter got pulled. After 2 years, so I actually only got 2 years of fraternity life, but I bonded enough with the people that I met, to keep them forever. And then outside of that, I think is where college grew because my junior and senior year we didn't have Kappa Sig, so
Oh, I
it,
didn't
it was
even
like a
think
whole
about
new
that.
adventure. Yeah, a whole new. It was a whole different college experience. My freshman and senior, my sophomore year compared to my junior and senior year. Yeah.
Wow.
So last question.
Mhm.
Aside from the lessons, what about that environment shaped you the most, if at all?
Well, actually, I was just thinking about this before you mentioned anything. Was our fraternity was such a animal house of mixture of cultures and people. So I actually really enjoyed that. It actually, I
Yeah.
mean, I would have never really been hanging out with, you know, um, guys that sit there on Sundays and study Bible, like whatever.
Josh.
Yeah, Josh Allen. Was it Josh? I forgot his name.
Josh. I think his name was
Yeah,
Josh Allen. Yeah, Josh
Josh
Allen.
Allen. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then there was like I think Derek. I think Derek Hunt used to do that
Yeah.
too. Or anyway, a few other guys, and then and then of course we had all different races. I mean, we had Asian guys, Latino guys,
Yeah.
black guys. We had obviously rednecks. I mean, literally pops in the house. He had a deer piss next to his bed. I mean, and he had like a live grenade that the pin was nowhere to be found. I mean, like those type of experiences were like, oh my God. I mean, anyway. And then of course we had, whatever, different squad of guys, the whole mix, which made it really unique and fun,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, party guys, we had guys like Putnam running around, and roided up, just freaking roaming around the house, in the wife beater, and just like, I mean, literally, that's what we used to do. Yeah, no, I don't know. I thought that was really unique because you would look at Sigma Chi, all of them are benching 225, all of them are squatting 300, all of them, little Ken Barbie dolls, regardless of some of them being maybe
they're A1, A2, A3 person.
Exactly. I mean, like. Yeah, there's no chance. I mean, they would basically forfeit rule us every flag football game. I mean, there's no chance. Like it just.
But
yeah,
you're not wrong. Like that's how so many fraternities are, right? Like you go to a fraternity house and everybody's in their boat shoes and they all have their khakis on. They all look the same. Or you go to another fraternity and they're all country. There's nothing else. They're all rednecks. They're all country. And we were such a melting pot that. I mean, some of our class went on to be doctors, and some of our class went on to be sports medicine people, and there's just so many people that are a part of that. And you're right, so many cultures. I mean, I've talked about this before, where I had no exposure to the Jewish culture, and now 90% of my friends are Jewish, and it was all because of that fraternity. Everybody came from South Florida.
She said.
Every Fruckman and Chu said, yeah, like and Danny and Gore, like the list could go on.
Robbins, my favorite.
The running joke was always like I was like I'm part Jewish because I was raised by the Jewish community, for 3 to 5 years while I was in college. And Nick, was yours a melting pot? Was yours very similar? Have you noticed that with fraternities?
Yeah, so I went to a smaller school. So my fraternity, even though I'm in Phi Delta Theta, we were a melting pot. I've gone to conventions and I'm like, fraternity as a whole, not so much. But my chapter for sure was.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Yeah, so I know, like, we had every race. I mean, it was under the sun, and then, like you said, doctors, lawyers, to social workers and teachers. All like
you're always like, man, how did that bastard become a good person and and help people?
Right. Well, not no. The doctors were always going to be nice, but like some of the ones that like are like in like VPs and like presidents of companies, and it's like you should how like I did your homework, like what.
Well, we all progressed, we all graduated, we all grew up, and Gabe, the next thing I want to talk about is just. Obviously, there were parts of yourself that you had to let go and change as you grow a family. You mentioned never getting fired, getting fired from every job except for when you worked for yourself. Talk to me about massage therapy and how that came to be post college.
Right. So I actually took all the prerequisites for chiropractic school in UCF, and then I realized I took an internship and didn't really enjoy it. So I got out. I just finished with a science degree. And then my sister just told me, why don't you, you're always massaging friends and family and girls. And why don't you just check out massage school? So that used to literally be my, kind of just like hands-on type of guy, Like I
Yeah.
would sit there and I'd be talking to, I mean, not necessarily guys, obviously, but I'd be talking to like a chick as a single man, you know, before 2000 and whatever, 14 or 15 or whatever, that million years ago, 13. And, you know, I'd sit there and talking to a girl and like, I'm very comfortable just putting my hand on the shoulder and he's like, oh yeah, you know, blah, blah. Like, I mean, before I was a massage therapist, it was just natural. So,
Animal.
my sister,
he's not lying. Like we would be out at, maybe we'd even be at a bar and he would just like start massaging girls, and I feel like from the outside looking in that would look super creepy, but if you were in our circle and like you knew who he was, you'd be like, oh, that's just Gabe.
I think if I was pretty damn good, and this is before school, so if someone's massaging you and it feels good, you're like, oh fuck, like you're not just fucking squeezing me, you're actually kind of know how you're doing what you're doing somehow. So my sister said, back to the story, my sister told me, hey, why don't you just check out massage school? I think it's like 8 months. You could get like a grant for it. Just check it out. And I was like, all right, fuck it. And I just went for it, and I immediately just enjoyed it. And after that, I got my first gig and then started working with people. And it was just kind of naturally. I don't know. Some people are sitting there nowadays and they say, oh my God, you know, I massaged my girlfriend or my boyfriend or my husband for like 2 minutes and my hand is hurting. Like, how the hell do you do that for 7 hours a day? And it's like, I don't know. I just enjoy it. I don't think about, you know, I'm using my body a certain way. I'm using my elbows and forearms, not just my fingers. But I don't know. I speak to some of my clients that like to talk, and there's some crazy stories and things like that. But you know, it's a really positive career because everyone feels good after they see me, and they're looking forward to seeing me.
Yep.
And you know, yeah, it's interesting. There's loyalty. I mean, I have a client I've had for 13 years, 14 years. I have
Wow.
clients for 12 years, 10 years. So yeah,
Is it
enjoyable.
the taking care of other people and like you said, the connection and making them feel good that draws you to that?
Yeah, I think I enjoy the aspect of the satisfaction post the massage. You know, they're like, wow, like I could feel
A
more
happy
mobility.
ending?
Yeah, how many
That's the question we're all wondering, Gabe. How much does a happy ending cost?
Oh
No, I'm just
God.
kidding. This is a respectable business, people.
No, that's I mean, that's came up many of times with gentlemen over the years, or I should say sick fucks. Um it's
No shit.
yeah, of course. Oh my God, it's came up tons of times, but usually it's way before the massage that people that are interested in that, you know, from a guy, they hint at it in the texting. They say this, all right, great, I'll see you at 2 o'clock. I can't wait for my good massage. Why the fuck you write two goods? That's like literally, yeah, I've gotten
That's a
this.
dead giveaway.
Yeah, dead a great way. Or yeah, just different things, you know. But
Have you ever had it happen like while you're at the massage table? Like
oh
maybe
yeah,
the massage is about to end and somebody's just like, hey,
yes. Yeah, I've had guys say, "Oh, it's over?
oh
That
my.
that's
Yeah,
it?"
get up. Yeah, get up.
How awkward is that? What was the first
Because
time
that's the
like?
thing. That's the thing about me is I'm very desensitized to all this. Actually,
Okay, that's
one
fair.
of my really close friends is a gay guy now. He's a really awesome guy, and like I don't know. I don't know any. I don't have that many friends at all that have any friends that are, you know, like whatever, homosexual. And I'm like so desensitized to everyone that he's just a cool guy in general. But I don't really think about those things anymore at all. Maybe when I was younger I did, but like I'm just
No, I
around. I
don't.
have a lot of clients that are, you know, have husbands or boyfriends, etc., or ladies with women that have wives or girlfriends, and like I'm just for me, it's just bodies. Like, so that's why
Yeah.
when my friends say, "Oh, dude, you massage any hot chicks recently?" I'm like, dude, I don't even think about it anymore. I really
Right.
don't. Like,
Well,
I
okay.
think they're beautiful,
So
great, but like, it doesn't matter.
But
It's just,
that's the professional side of it, right? I'm not asking like if you think a girl's hot or and you're like, oh, you get to touch a hot girl. Like that's just the professional side of it. But and I don't think it has anything to do with being gay or homosexuality. But if I'm professionally massaging a dude and he like insinuates that he wants me to then jerk him off, like it's not even a gay thing. It's the shock of a dude asking me to jerk him off. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense?
Generally, they don't use those terms at all. Usually, they would be like, "Oh, that's it," and I mean, nothing else. Nothing else can be arranged or anything like that. Like a lot of them
Do you
have a
bring
little bit
those
of
people
respect.
back, or do you cut them off?
Oh no, I just said, yeah, man. I said you got the wrong guy. I say you got the wrong guy, man. I do sports massage and that's it. I mean, I always make a joke that it would be so many tens of thousands of dollars that I would need to fucking do something like that. And not to mention I'm married, etc. But like to just cross my sexuality like that, it would cost them that much that they was like, dude, they might as well just go to Vegas. They might, private jet. I mean, it's just stupid.
If someone offered you like $5 million to give them a happy ending,
dude, absolutely.
Yeah,
dude, my wife would be the first one demanding it.
You'd probably piss if you said no.
Dude, I'd say $1 million would be fine too, tax free.
Cash.
So there's a price.
I actually have a really crazy story that happened last week or a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh my god, I want to say this on C-Rod's show.
Sure, maybe.
So I drove to Boca. I do sometimes if the juice is worth the squeeze. And I drove to Boca and I got to this house. It was a fancy neighborhood, Lotus or something. And I get to the door and I ring the doorbell and I hear a dog and I text message the lady, I'm here. And she said, come in. So I basically said, okay, great. I just came in the house. But that's kind of rare for first time. So the dog's coming to me barking and he's licking me. And I hear the woman upstairs on the phone. So I set up my table. I take a picture of it because it's like a beautiful house and it's got the little Hanukkah bush. It's a nice little house. And, I said, oh, it's for the IG, take a picture. And it's been about 5 minutes. I look at my phone. She's texting me twice. Where are you? And I go, what? And I call her. I said, Mrs. Whatever, what do you mean? I'm in your living room. She's like, you're not in my fucking house. I was in the wrong house. I was in like 25-300, not 205-300. I was about 10 houses down. So then I'm frozen thinking, oh my God, I'm about to get shot in the head with a rifle from the boyfriend upstairs or husband or maybe the lady.
Whoever is upstairs.
We're in Florida,
Oh my God.
So I just quietly went to the door and I was trying to think quick, like, what do I do here? Because I don't want to drag all my stuff out, which would take about 5-6 minutes and make noise, barring the lady still upstairs on the phone, just like chatterbox. And I'm like, oh my God, what do I do?
Didn't hear you set any of this up? Like, didn't hear a person come to the house, set all this up?
Not at all. The dog at this point is just watching me like bored. So all of a sudden I ring the doorbell. The lady starts coming down the stairs and she sees me and she kind of freezes. But see, when the animal goes to people's houses, I'm dressed nice. My hair's done. I look sharp. So it's not like I look like an intruder, even though I am one. And she says, oh my God. And I said, listen, long story, wrong house. And I told her, and she walked down, she saw the table. And the first thing she said was, oh my God, I love massage. Give me your card. It was fucking hilarious.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. So she took my card. She was super sweet. She's like, oh my God, you should just come over next time you massage that lady. So then I left the house. That's it. Went and massaged the other lady. She was laughing. She said I would have called the police. Anyway, so that was it.
I mean, you just told a story about breaking and entering, potentially being shot as an intruder to gaining new business. Like,
that that doesn't. You can't really say that it's ever happened before. I mean, that's crazy. It was really wild.
At least it's crazy.
For her door to be unlocked, right? For her to be upstairs occupied, like there's so many things that had to happen for you to not be in jail.
And for the lady to say, come in at that same moment when I rang the doorbell.
Yeah.
And it was about 10 seconds after. So it was like a perfect, it was nuts.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I got called to massage Deshaun Watson 2 Christmases ago, and that was a funny story. Also, I didn't sign an NDA, so fuck him. Anyway, but I basically got called by a personal assistant to go massage him in Hollandale, and I went to his place, and he wanted 2 ladies for his wife, and for me to massage him. And I get to the spa, and I saw him on his little wheelie thing because his Achilles, and he didn't say a word to me, which is really strange. He was doing all the talking. It was very interesting. And then I get in the room with him, and I'm all excited. I mean, this is a superstar football player worth 220 million. Like, if he likes my work,
Yeah.
when he's in the off season in Miami, massage
Sure.
him. It's great. But literally within 60 seconds of having him in the room, he didn't say a word to me. His wife came in and said, "Oh no, there's been a big mix-up. He doesn't get massaged by men." And then I had to like send in the women to massage him. It was freaking unreal.
Oh,
And
I was gonna say, were his massage stories including men too?
no.
No, of course he
I don't
wanted
So
think
the
he
so.
2
wanted
women for
he
him.
wanted 2 women
He wanted 2 women, yeah. So then I massaged the wife, and then whatever. It was obviously just fine. And then those ladies, they didn't even speak English, but that was besides
Of
the point.
course they didn't. He was there
Yeah.
for happy endings. You
Um.
gave his wife a very good professional massage.
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah.
Let me
Actually,
ask you.
the first time I met my wife was on the massage table.
No,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy spin, but basically, I met her before, and then I didn't talk to her for 2 years because she had a boyfriend. And then she booked for a massage with me at the Canyon Ranch, this spa I used to work at.
Oh,
And I had no idea who she was because she got some things changed. She cut her hair and such, and got implants. And she she literally came in for a massage. I have no fucking idea who this person is. She gave me a hug. I was working at a 5-star hotel spa, Canyon Ranch. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's literally top in the country. You don't hug massage therapists at that spa. And then I had no idea who she was. I went to go. She requested me. Someone told me about her. Someone told her, "Oh, remember him? He used to work with us, whatever." And she came in. I massaged her, and she was like
so
flirting with
she
me
was coming there for you.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
she
then
wants your
this
hands
is
on her
this is
body.
back when there was only Facebook. And I said, "Oh, here, I'll take your Facebook." I was single.
Yeah,
And then we went on a date, and then that was it. But anyway, that was kind of funny. So um
that's a meet cute, baby. She
massage has
stalked you
done
on the
well for
massage
me.
table. She wanted your hands all over, dude. So
Yeah.
massage has done very well for you, right? You've been doing it. What did you say now?
Yeah.
13 years, 14 years,
16 years.
16 years.
Yeah.
Where do you like? Are you happy with where your business is at? Do you have goals for it to go somewhere bigger?
So
What's the end game?
so I have ideas of possibly opening up a spa. But there's a lot. In Miami, it's very expensive, you know. So the overhead is huge, and obviously location is everything. So, I mean, that's a tough thing. Um, Also, all my clients want massages from me, so that's another thing. I mean, I'm pretty gifted. I've worked on some really high end people and people I can't mention on here. Um,
Ooh,
and it's just celebrities and this and that, and I just can't. There's a lot of big CEOs and
yeah,
some athletes, and they just I can't send them C-Rod. I
right.
can't send them. Gore. I can't send them, Miss Hernandez. I can't send like some random person who's pretty good, has been doing it for 2-3 years, because a lot of times people that are used to my massage, like it's a special sports type massage with like stretching and deep tissue and trigger points. And it's something I learned from somebody who trained me like 16, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And literally, yeah, she gets flown around the country working on like, top 5 NBA players. So
Wow.
it's a really special type of craft, and it's not easy to replicate it, so people see the difference between my work and, other
Yeah.
therapists. So I have 4 female therapists that work for me. that I send out when I have new clients or new people want like a massage when I'm out of town, or people have like their wife that doesn't want massages from guys. I'll send the woman. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. That's.
yeah,
Do you get like a percentage of that?
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I get a percentage. Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
If it's giving you opportunity, if it's provided for your family, if it's how you met your wife, like
Oh
you
yeah.
know.
No, it's yeah, I would say the only downfall in especially I think any city is when the season is over. When the season's over, that July to October, it's just a slower pace. So you kind of have to pace yourself, income wise. You have to, you
Mm,
know, hide some nuts.
so you're good at
So
hiding nuts, you animal.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Nick, before we jump into kind of the last segment here, I wanted to see if there was anything that you had for Gabe, whether it be fraternity life, sports related, massage related, anything at all.
No, how do I get one of these massages, I guess is my only question.
Yeah, it's funny. I do drive as far as Palm Beach, but I don't do that very often. But if it like I said, like if it's worth it, if I have 3 massages lined up,
Mm.
um
Nick lives in
yeah,
Orlando, outside of Orlando.
that's
You gotta go see
that
the mouse.
What's your hourly charge? Is that, do you do hour or just full? What's
no, I do
I've actually
hour.
never gotten a massage before.
Oh my
What?
God.
Hey,
What's
Callie's
wrong?
actually at one right now as we speak. But
Wow.
I've never gotten a massage before. I don't.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is really crazy.
Hot
Uh
stone, dude. I've gotten a bunch.
I don't. I'm weird about other people touching me, I guess.
wow. I would have never known
Mm.
that about you. Wow. Uh
Yep,
I I've had
I
so
need
many
one.
massages I can't even I mean I literally whenever I don't have work and having a good week, I'll just go get a massage because like and sometimes my wife says, "Honey, why are you wasting money?" or "Come on, come help me with the kids." But people have to realize if a massage therapist is not getting massages, they're cooked. I mean, you're
Mhm.
done. Your arms, your hands, back. I mean, you're done. Like your
Yeah.
career is ending. Um, but
Do you have your
yeah.
own massage therapist that you prefer, or do you just go wherever?
If I'm ever really broken, I have the lady who trained me. She's over there in Brickell area, and she'll fix me.
There you go.
She's amazing.
She'll fix me.
But no, I there's a place in Bayside, right where by the Miami Heat arena, Bayside, Miami, and there's a place called Kyoto, and there's all these really strong Asian males, and they're really good, and they know what
Yeah.
they're doing. They know. I can't believe you haven't got a massage. That's like blowing my mind right now.
Never.
You want to go
Never.
get a
Maybe.
couples massage, Chris?
Like
Maybe
massage envy even or nothing. Hand in stone.
nothing. Nothing.
Wow.
Maybe Nick and I will drive down one time and book you for a massage. You could be
Yeah.
my first baby.
We'll
Oh
do
my God.
couples. We'll do a couples massage.
Okay.
A good
Yeah.
massage.
Good,
Oh my
good.
God.
It better be a good,
It-
good. I don't want none of the good massage. I want good, good.
I used to have a guy fly me out to JFK. Then I'd have to get on a second plane to Martha's Vineyard, and I'd stay.
what?
He has like 2 6-bedroom homes on his like whatever
On
you
his
want to call it,
plot of
estate.
land.
And I would stay in my own 6-bedroom house. That's fucking freaky, first of all. And then I would massage them for 2 hours for him, 1 hour with her. Then I'd have like some beers and dinner with them. Then I'd like have a little fire pit, and then I'd go back to my house and they just do their thing. And then in the morning, he would let me drive his 4-wheelers on the beach. And then after that, I would massage them one more time for 2 hours for him, 1 hour for her, eat lunch, and then I'd get drove to the airport and then get flown home. That was funny.
Holy,
That was
that's
I need.
why did that stop?
the guy was an asshole. He was one of my first big clients. He used to rent his home to LeBron James when LeBron
Wow.
was in Miami. Yeah. Obviously not mentioning names, but no, he was a fucking asshole. He was a big fat fuck, and he was an asshole. But he that was fun. And then I used to fly to LA and New York and massage. This is before I was married. I used to stay with Goldman, and I would literally just make like $200-$300, and I would just spend all of it out in New York City, partying, having fun, and man, it was fun. Pre-marriage massage world.
So the way that I want to wrap this up, right? We talked a lot about brotherhood and Kappa Sig and life after your personal business, but what I really want to end this episode with is, you had sent me a text the other day about politics, right? You had put something out there, Israel and Gaza. I had said to you, I don't talk we don't speak politics at all, and you had sent me a text right after that was like, I have family in Jerusalem, so like it's real for me. And that got me thinking, where I'm like, wow, you're right. This isn't a politics thing. Like, this is real life. And I have, just like I said, I have so many Jewish friends, and I see on Instagram when they post these things, and I try to stay up to date, and I try to stay informed, and I try to see it from their perspective, where obviously I will never experience anything like that. And so that's the way that I want to end this is I don't want this to be political, obviously, but I want to talk. I want to frame the conversation, personally. I want to talk about something that's very important to you, your Jewish identity, your family living in Jerusalem, what it's like when these world events really impact you. And feel free to go as deep as you want, or not, but talk to me about life events and being Jewish.
Yeah, my parents just moved there 6 months ago, but my sister's been there for 4 years, so she was there when that war broke out there. She was all the way in the north, not in the south. The south was obviously quite a scary area to be in. On October 7th. But it honestly was very scary, because my sister, she's not Israeli. We're just Americans, and she just moved there because she loves Israel, and it's the homeland of the Jews, and there's a lot of, like, my sister says the reason she loves living there is every step when you walk out there just feels more meaningful. Like, wow, you're walking on this land of like Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and it's like you're not like here in Florida. I'm like walking around, I'm like, oh, there's a piece of bubble gum. Or like Native Americans, and it's like nothing against Native Americans. They're obviously taking all my money at the casinos, but basically it's like, no, I mean, basically the Native Americans are the Native Americans, like they did their thing, but it's like, that's not part of my culture, but living in Israel, it's like, oh my gosh. But so anyway, but no, my sister was in the north, and it was scary because she's not married to an Israeli soldier. They don't have weapons in the house. So it's like, of course they have safe houses, underneath they have a little basement that's for, if there's missiles or this, and you're supposed to run to a safe either in your house, or you run to like a little safety, I forgot what they call these little safe houses that are protection. But no, it's very scary. One of the scariest things was a couple days after the war started. In Israel, they have these text messages that go out, and they let you know if there's missiles nearby or things. And literally, there was all these alerts they got that there was an intrusion from Lebanon into the north, and terrorists were coming in from the north. And my sister is like 25 minutes from the border, so that was absolutely scary, but it was actually a false alarm. So anyway, but yeah, I mean, it's very scary because there's, even though the war is over now, it's a ceasefire. Thank God. I'm happy, on both sides that, people can live in peace right now, in the sense that compared to, 4 months ago or 7 months ago or 2 years ago, whatever, the people in Gaza are, even though their situation now obviously is not very good, but at least they're not, in war. And in Israel, people are not at war, but there's still attacks going on stabbings and you name it, car rammings and things like that don't hit the mainstream media. But yeah, no, it's a very tough situation there. Honestly, it's a very, very tough situation. So, but for me, my parents, they're just really enjoying the change of pace from Miami. And my sister, she just loves it out there. She has 4 kids, and she
Yeah.
just loves it out there. So,
How do you I don't know, stay grounded when things like that are going on in a place where your family lives and they're
um,
affected and you're thousands of miles away with no real connection except for, a phone?
oh, it's interesting because I've been for the last 2 years. I go on TikTok, and I've been like in these lives talking to these people, and that's probably not a good idea. But it's really wacky. Sometimes you're talking to these people, and you're like, oh my god, like these people are like totally, like if they could come through the screen, they would want to hurt you. Like I don't want to hurt anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I just want people to be at peace and have my family safe. And
yeah.
but it's like, yeah, there's some weird people out there. But no, I mean, I talk to my parents every day, my sister every day, and I video chat with their kids a little bit if I can, with my kids in the morning, bring them to school.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, there's nothing I can do, there's hatred in this world, and unfortunately, you can't really do much about it besides just go about your life and, try to teach kindness to your kids,
I love that.
yeah.
Do you think
Um,
you'll ever visit, or have you
Yeah, I
visited?
mean, I haven't been there in many years, but yeah, I definitely plan to visit. Um, yeah, definitely.
It's interesting that your parents just moved there. How did that work with everything that was going on and, them allowing people to move there at a time like
Oh
that?
yeah, I mean, if you have well, it depends what country you're coming from, obviously, but if you're coming from a country that's pretty neutral with Israel, and yeah, you could apply for citizenship. There is like this, yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, there's this birthright that basically you can return to your homeland. Even though it sounds like some magical Disney ride, it's a real thing. I
Yeah.
mean, it's since
I
the
know a lot of people
unfortunate
who went on Birthright during college.
yeah. So birthright is the name of that program, but then there's actually a like law of return where you could return to Israel, and as
Mm,
long as you can prove your lineage or whatnot, like basically they do a background check on you, obviously,
yeah,
and then they'll you could you could become a citizen. So that's what my parents did. So they have like, everything, health insurance, dental
yeah.
insurance, everything, just yeah, you know.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, for me, I would never want to move there because I just have my life here in Miami, and I'm all set up. And also there's certain cities and states and countries where massage is like in Brazil, you could get a $6 massage. Like, and I think in Israel you could get like a 200 shekel massage, which is like a $50 massage. Like that's not going to pay my bills or work for me. So here, people pay 160 an hour for a massage. I
Yeah,
mean, there's people that pay 200 an hour for massage, don't even flinch.
Hmm.
So, if I'm doing 6 of those a day, give or take, I
yeah,
mean, it's a decent career, depending on how you manage your money.
Mhm.
yeah.
Um, but thank you for asking about my family in Israel. That's nice. My parents they were just tired of Miami. They just wanted to change of pace, and they're just enjoying
Yeah.
my dad can work from abroad. He's a CPA. And
Listen, like I said, it's one thing to see it on media, and it's another thing to be a part of it and to live it. I
yeah,
know people who have lost family during the war because of it, and that's just one thing that Nick and I try to keep a part of this podcast is just sharing views outside of like our own, right? And if anybody can take something away from this, whether they are Jewish and they know the situation, or maybe they're not
yeah,
Jewish and they listen to this and they want to go educate themselves a little bit more, it's just a way
yeah,
to not only spread perspective but just positivity for me. So I
yeah.
appreciate you sharing.
No, for sure. It's yeah. I mean, sadly, I mean, because of the war in Israel, it's caused a serious spike in anti-Semitism around the world, and it's real. It's not just me saying it or anybody who's Jewish saying it. I mean, it's real. Obviously, if you look at the Australia situation, Bondi, that attack on Hanukkah, I mean, there was no Israeli flags there. There was no Israeli music going on. I mean, even though if there was, it would just be Hebrew music, but it was just a Hanukkah celebration. Just like in Europe, there's Christmas parties and
Right.
Christmas things, and all of a sudden there's like an attack. So that was just like, yeah, obviously it was brutal, it was horrific, but it was just showing that like this isn't about Israel anymore. There's people out there that are just hating Jews, and that just sucks. It's just like, you know, unfortunately, it's just, it's kind of like I feel like it's a hobby. Kind of feels like it's just a hobby of the past. It just kind of gets passed along generations. Like the Jew jokes, like, oh, your nose, or oh my God, you cheap fuck, you didn't tip more than 10%. Those things, it's all fun and games, but then all of a sudden someone's like fucking throwing a rock at a kosher restaurant, or fucking shooting a BB gun at a Jewish school in Canada. That happens like all the time, or not even BB guns. So anyway, yeah, but yeah, hopefully that takes a turn for the better over the next years and years as this war is in the background.
And forget the war, just treating people better of different races. Like, I know that you said, sometimes you just got to move on, right? There's nothing you can do with it. And I think that a part of the process that you can control is the Semitism. Has that ever been a part of your life and your identity where you've been misunderstood and had to deal with that or process that?
You know what? Being in Miami, actually, we're such a melting pot down here. I mean, there's literally everyone down here, just like our frat house. That there's a very huge South American population down here. So I speak a bunch of Spanish, when I go to coffee shops or I go to anywhere. I mean, gas station, valet drivers, and I go to a lot of buildings parking my car. So, but no, I proudly wear my Jewish star necklace out. And I mean, literally, there's a lot of my friends that are Jewish that during this whole 2 years of the war, they maybe posted maybe one thing, two thing on their Instagram. Some of them don't even have businesses, but they're just kind of afraid. I'm not afraid. Like I've always told people, if I'm like, I'm supporting what's right, and I'm supporting, my family there, and I'm supporting what I think is the good side of the world. And and if I see something wrong, I'm gonna post it. And if I have a massage client or somebody who follows me on Instagram who's not happy with that, I don't give a shit.
Fuck them.
That's what I'm saying. At first, I remember, like, after a little bit, I was like, oh man, maybe I should. But I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I don't want to massage people that hate my people, or I don't go posting, oh yeah, I'm happy about people dying here or there. No, I would never do that. I don't do that. I don't even post about, oh my God, I'm so excited, 10 terrorists just got killed. I don't even do that. I just post when I feel like it's appropriate. If I see an interview that's very interesting, if I see something that's strong and I want to share it, I do it. But no, thank God in Miami, it's very multicultural, and obviously, like, probably 20% of the world's Jews or something are here in Miami, or whatever percentage. So it's very safe. I mean, there's tons of people, Jewish people walking around and doing whatever they want to do on the Sabbath or whatever. I don't observe the Sabbath, but I do go on the holidays to temple and whatnot. And there's armed guards now, fully loaded, Kevlar, I mean, like, serious heavy weaponry. I'm not talking about like a rifle. I'm talking about like an assault rifle with backup mags and smoke grenades. I mean, there's like 2 or 3 guards at every temple down here, just in case, there's something goes off. But thank God, been pretty safe down here. So I don't really feel much fear,
That's good. It's good to not be fearful. There's a lot of people in the world right now that can't have that, and it's something to be grateful for and something to be mindful of.
Yeah. definitely. Yeah, like I mean, I think, yeah, I have a client who's British, and he saw my Jewish star that I have, and he literally told me that, oh, I can't wear that walking around London. Not a chance. Not a
Mm.
chance. Like he said,
Oh.
like without a doubt. He's like, there's no way. And I'm like, well, I didn't even get into the details. I know what he's talking about. It's just unfortunately, it's like imagine you can't go around with like Christmas shirt or like a cross
Yeah.
on your neck. It's in a certain part of the world. It's just crazy to think about that. It's just because like the unfortunately the like the backward thinking. Like if you saw a whole family walking by who are going for their Kwanzaa celebration, like you're literally gonna walk by them like they're a bunch of white people or black people or Spanish or Jews or whoever. It doesn't matter. It's just a family going by. It's
I
like
also just found out that Kwanzaa is an African celebration.
nice. But I guess I was just using an example.
Don't look at me, Nick. I didn't know that.
What?
And it came up at lunch.
What did you think it was?
Well, he's never had a massage, so we can't put much on him here.
This uncultured swine.
No, we were at lunch, and I was with some Jewish brothers, and Hanukkah came up, and I was like, well, what about Kwanzaa? And they're like, well, Kwanzaa's not a Jewish holiday. And I was like, I don't know, Christmas.
You thought it was
Christmas and
Jewish?
Kwanzaa.
That's almost worse.
Well, what? Okay.
I
don't know. Do you know anybody who celebrates Kwanzaa?
I don't.
I don't personally.
I don't personally, but I know about it.
But I know it exists.
Well, it was my mistake. We figured out what it was, and now I am more educated.
Good.
I've actually had the most strange experience over the last 3 days. Obviously, since this this amazing capture of this narco terrorist, right, in Venezuela, right? And when I have a lot of South Americans that live in my building, all different cultures, Mexican, Colombian, Venezuelan, Puerto Rican, whatever, Cuban. And I've said to some of them in Spanish, I said,
Did you say Puerto Rican?
Whatever. I just say, Viva la Venezuela. You know what that means, obviously, right? Like,
yes.
Let's go, like free Venezuela. And it's so crazy. I was thinking like most Latinos are like, oh, hell yeah. Like one less narco crazy dictator fuck, to get the fuck out of there. And like, you should see some of the people's faces are like, oh yeah. I'd rather focus more on this country. I'm like, the fuck is that? Like, I mean, sure, I'm paying fucking gas and we're paying this and our insurance goes up and all this shit. But dude, if a fucking terrorist motherfucker gets arrested, dude, I'm happy. Like
Yep.
Yeah. That's kind of bewildered me. I have to. My wife is Venezuelan, Brazilian, so I need to ask her about that. But I have no idea. I think there's a population of Cubans that are not happy because they're like, why can't you do this to Cuba?
I don't know.
I think that's what happened.
We're not talking politics, and now you're getting into politics, Gabe.
Oh shit! I didn't even realize it was. All right,
I'm trying so hard.
How long have you had that facial hair?
Nick looks like he's about to explode.
I want to this so bad, but
I know that Nick could go on about politics forever.
Nice.
And you took the transition from heartfelt about your family heritage and you brought it to politics. So that's where we draw the line.
That's funny.
We're not contributing. We're just like, yep.
Nick's like, I have so much to say right now. Anyways, I typically we end the show, with just whether it's one thing that you want to leave there with people, whether it's about you, whether it's about, the Jewish culture, whether it's about whatever. But what's one last thing, Gabe, that you want to leave, this episode and these listeners with?
Oh, interesting. I would say that if there's people out here that are gonna think about getting married and they're thinking about having kids, I would say don't have more than 2 kids, because I'll be honest, you don't get that much time. You don't get that much time with each kid. and it's really, you wouldn't believe, my kid is almost 10 years old, and I literally can maybe count on one hand like the one-on-one times I have with my son and the one-on-one with my daughter. So I can't imagine people with more than I'm come from a family of 5 though, so 3 kids. But like I just always tell people, like, yo, have 2 kids and that's it. Like, cut it off, because
Cut it off. Cut it off and cut it out.
yeah,
Two
it's
and
just
done.
too much. I would say 2 kids is amazing, because you could see, if anyone is listening here who has kids, it's like when you're playing with one kid and you're at the park, like the other kid just wants you to play with them. And then you're like, okay, hold on, BV, I'll be right back. And you go play with your son, you're playing Nerf battle and this and that. And then your daughter's like, come on, who's gonna push me in the swing? I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And like, anyway,
Yeah.
that's my message. Like, go have kids, but
There you
just
go.
don't have more than 2.
Go have kids, but cut it off. The wise words of the animal.
Hold on, one more thing, and also make sure you keep going on dates with your wife. That's good.
Okay. There
Yeah.
you go. That's
Or
the whole
husband, if
point.
you're married to a guy, that's fine too.
There you go.
And plug me, Gabe. Where can
Yeah.
anybody that lives in South Florida who's looking for an A-class massage find you?
Relaxation Arts. Relaxation Arts is my Instagram. RelaxationArtsMiami.com is my website.
Boom.
And strictly professional massage, sports massage.
No good goods.
That's
I
not
always
true.
tell people,
Unless
I'm
you
not
got
going
$1
to become
million
your
in
friend.
cash. You got $1 million in cash, you can get a hand job from them.
That's true. Yes.
Cash.
If you have $1 million in cash, you can get a hand job. That's true.
He did put a price.
Nick, any last words for the
tax
closing
free.
of the animal episode, buddy?
No, thank you for coming out. I definitely need to figure out how to get to South Florida for one of these massages. Definitely I'm gonna have to figure out how to get Chris a massage, because that is freaking insane. Your wife's there right now. Like, I'll come watch your kids just so both you can go get one. Like,
You could have them come to your house.
yeah,
I could, but I won't. I don't know. It's just
I won't.
I don't know. I just
You need to
and
get
hell. I'm definitely not paying $200 an hour for a massage. I'll tell you that.
Well, there's something
I couldn't afford you, Gabe.
There's something we totally missed out here. Go Canes! I haven't even talked about how amazing our Canes are, baby.
We have not talked about the Canes.
This is gonna be great.
And the game will be tonight when the episode drops.
Amazing.
Nick went to FSU.
That's
I went to JU, but I'm an FSU fan.
You're like far, what is it? Wide left, wide right?
Yeah, whatever, dude.
I can't really say anything about wide right now. So
I was gonna say, somebody missed wide right the other night.
I can't chime into this conversation the way that I want to. But you're right. Go Canes.
Go Canes.
I'll never forget. We went to, it was UCF versus the Hurricanes in Orlando, Nick, and
so, like
game? No, just regular game. There was like a 3-year span where we had a series going. But anyways, when I got into UCF, I was a massive Canes fan. Everybody knew that. I've always been a Canes fan. That never wavered. Even when I went to UCF,
Band-Aid.
Yeah, and even when I went to UCF, like, I still wore Canes gear. I love the Knights. People will contest that, but I still watch the games. I still follow them. Maybe not as close as UCF, but I mean as Miami. But anyways, the game came, and the big question was, what is C-Rod gonna wear to the game? Because we had student sections, right? So I'm sitting in the UCF student section. Who am I rooting for? Are you rooting for the Canes? So I wore a UCF t-shirt with a Canes jacket and a Canes shorts and a UCF hat. So I was rocking both, but I'll never forget just how many people, the big question was, what is C-Rod going to wear to this game? Who does he want to win? And even when I still wore the UCF stuff, it still wasn't good enough. And they booed me in the student section because I had Canes gear on.
As they should.
And I'd turn around and be like, I go here. It didn't matter.
It didn't. Nope.
So,
but I'd boo you. I'll boo you right now. Boo.
Anyways, Thank you to Gabe,
Thanks,
not
man.
only for being here. I know how busy your schedule is, but for finding the time, for sharing the fun stories, for sharing about your family. I can't say enough about how much it meant for you to drive up from Miami to have that outing with us in Boca the other week. It was so amazing to see you and Danny again. But I just thank you for being here and thank you for sharing your story.
Thanks, man. I'm excited. Now I'm about to go massage for the next 4.5 hours.
That's insane.
But it's going to
And
be a good night, so I'm not complaining.
Callie
Yeah.
asked me to rub her for like 30 minutes, and my hands get tired, and I'm
Have
using
him
the
teach you.
elbows and the knees and the
Have him
chin.
teach you his ways.
You
Yeah,
gotta teach me your ways of the hands, animal.
that's going to cost you.
I told you, I can't afford you.
Yep.
If any part of today's episode hit home, share it with a friend. Tag us at CrodSpot on Instagram. Help us keep this conversation going. Please also find Gabe on Instagram at Relaxation Arts or his website, which is relaxationartsmiami.com. We drop new episodes every Thursday morning, 8 a.m. We are live on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. If you have a story, a topic, or you just need a vent, please email us at crodspod@gmail.com. We want to hear from you. As always, we are here to talk to or talk for you. Our safe space is your outlet. And as always, live fast, eat ass, or just channel your inner animal into something meaningful.